Any more questions are there?
I had a doubt when we are talking about the, the recreation, and we start off with the prana, and now first we mention indriyas as we come down the hierarchy of the 16 parts, and then we talk of man, right? Should it not be the other way around?
So
That is
this
the
list which is there is not sequential.
I see.
You must not see it as sequential.
I see.
If it had to go sequential, it will go as per the Sankhya order. That is first Shraddha, that is Buddhi should come from Prakriti, and then come Vayu Jyotirapa, that should come Prithvi. And then only you can even have Pran, you can talk about Pran only once these elements have been created. No being can exist, even though subtle Pran can exist, but that is just like a non-functional Pran. So for a functional Pran, you have to have a body which is made up of gross elements as well. So this should not be interpreted as in this sequence. At this, actually, the better interpretation here is that this is how it happens in the fetus, because we are talking of the being. So that prana coming into the fetus first thing, that is the most important part, and that had come in the third chapter as well, when he had asked how did prana come and how does it go, etc. Then also we had seen that he had said that the prana comes along with the soul. So that is actually what is the important part. The rest, all this Shraddha, etc., even Buddhi for that matter, you can say, Buddhi will come, arise much later. First, the physical body will come. So this is not to be interpreted as in a sequence, in the correct sequence of creation. Okay, so to just recap this one particular chapter, if we now forget about the interpretation of Brahma, then as far as the Jeev is concerned, it is sitting in a body which is composed of 16 parts. These 16 parts consist one of the ones which are related directly to the body, what the body is composed of. That is the 5 elements and prana and shraddha and mana, anna. And there is the other part, which is virya, tapa, mantra, karma, loka, nama, and rupa, which are the consequences of this body. See, this body is a fantastic machine. Okay, if you see around the ancient cultures of the world, they did not comprehend it well. So today, with hindsight, now you know so much about the body, you might think that this is all very trivial information, but actually it is not trivial. And for ancient people to know so much about the body is quite fantastic. This just shows you that how well our ancestors understood how this body functions and what is the relationship of the body, the soul, and God. So these 16 kalas which are there, you can say that they culminate in Naam and Roop. That is an identity with a name and a form. And that name and form, it disappears when we sit in meditation and we look for ourselves, our own souls, remove ourselves from this body, and also when we try and sit with God, Pasana. In both those cases, these colors, they disappear and we become Akala and Amrita. And of course, all these colors are dependent on us. If the soul is not there, then the colors are also non-functional. while you might have something remaining in the dead body which consists of the five elements and so on, but it is a non-functional unit. Therefore, everything is hooked to the soul in the body, and it is the soul which actually runs the whole body. Okay, now let us go to the larger Upanishad. So I think Srividya had some questions. If any of you have any questions, please go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah. Can I start?
Yeah.
So in the first chapter, we had gone through, that there is a Uttarayana and the Dakshinayana, actually kind of telling us that you can take the Pitralok or the Pitrayana or the Devyana route. So
Yeah.
these are all symbolic, right? Because, I don't know whether you've heard of it, but in fact, yeah, they say that, if you die in the Uttarayana part of the year, you don't come back and things like that. So is that for real or is it basically symbolic?
That part, connecting it directly to the movement of the sun, that is not correct. This is a
Okay.
metaphorical connection where the Uttarayan, where the sun is moving up, is linked to your soul moving up. Okay, it becoming going up the spiritual path. And Dakshinayan, where the sun moves down, the soul is also going down the spiritual path. That is a connotation, and to take literally that if you die in Uttarayan, then you automatically achieve moksha. It is like having a dip in the Ganga and getting rid of all your sins. Then we will all commit murders and go and have a dip in the Ganga, and we will kill ourselves, commit suicide in Uttarayan.
Yeah.
So,
So there were many.
always take it to the extreme, and you will immediately know the falsity or truth of anything.
But that story about Bhishma being on his,
Yeah, right.
bed of arrows till the time it was Uttarayan, that is what comes to mind when actually you think of Uttarayan and Dakshinayan.
Correct, yeah.
That is also true. So actually, in one of the mantras in the Veda, maybe in an Upanishad, I think in the Vedic mantra, it's only I have read that the soul climbs on to the ray of light and goes to the Dulok, goes to the sun. Okay, now this again is at one level, it is a metaphorical description, looks like, but on the other hand, it may have some truth. I don't know. I really, I cannot tell you the truth or falsity of that, because I see good people dying in the night also. So then, which photon of light which will they climb on? And there are bad people who die in the daytime in Uttarayan. So it really doesn't make any sense. I don't think that is anything other than metaphorical. But overall, we saw here in the first chapter only, they say that the people who are learned, they perform yajnas in the Shukla Paksh, while other people, they perform yajnas in the Krishna Paksha. So that connotation, that relationship with light is emphasized in many ways. And what is the real meaning behind it today, we are not very clear on it. Okay.
Yeah,
I have one more question.
Sorry, I guess I was just adding on to that, what Uttara was saying, that we assume it to be the light, the physical light. It could also be, again, metaphoric in the sense of knowledge, so that
Enlightenment.
is another,
yeah. Yes, somebody else had a question.
I had one more question. In the first chapter, when of course, what was the cause of the universe or something like that, we said over there, God is a nimitta karana, plus this prana is also one of the nimitta karana.
Of life.
Yeah, of life.
Of life.
Then where does avidya come here?
Avidya. Okay. Avidya is something which is attached onto the soul. When it takes a form, when it is embodied, then it comes along with avidya. The primary avidya is ahankar. Ahankar being that I am this body. This is the first avidya, and this leads to all other avidyas. So once you are identifying yourself as your body, then everything which pleases your body pleases you. Everything which is a sorrow for your body is sorrowful for you. So the whole of life follows subsequent to this identification. Just think what it would be like if you did not have this avidya and you looked at yourself as a driver who is riding this car of the body. Then just as you care very little for your car, in the sense of if the car gets dented, you don't care. So similarly, you would also not care too much for your body. So you must try and imagine that situation, what it would be like if you did not associate yourself completely with your body. So that is the primary avidya from which all other avidyas, which Patanjali has mentioned in Yoga Darshan and even in Sankhya, they are mentioned briefly, flow, all related to the body.
So that is also the nimitta karan as seen in chapter 1, or no, the chapter 1 is actually talking about the whole universe coming into being.
Chapter 1 is not talking
basically
of creation, according to me. Is it talking of creation?
With that Rai and Prana.
Prana and Rai. So it's actually the universe is split into two parts: living beings and non-living beings. So it's not giving actually a cause for the universe. If you have to think of what is the cause for this universe to come into being, then you have to look elsewhere, where we learn that the cause for this universe are the deeds of the beings. Firstly, the deeds of beings happen when you associate yourself with the body, and therefore you perform things for your body. Then they immediately become linked to a consequence, whether good or bad. So then that deed has to be experienced. It cannot die on its own. You cannot take a dip in the Ganga and it will be washed away. So it has to be experienced by the being. It may be possible for the being to experience in this life, or you have to take another life. So that cycle starts, and God has to create the universe so that beings can come into existence. That whole sun has to be, a solar system has to be formed, planets have to be formed, one planet has to be in the Goldilocks zone, which allows life to come up, and then that life now starts playing out its cycle.
Okay, so on an individual level, my avidya is the reason why I'm associated with this body and I'm thinking that I am this body. But in the first chapter, I think it was a very generic question which actually explained that God made two types of whatever. The whole thing was two types. One is Rai and Prana.
Yeah.
And then from there, he hoped that the rest would be developed, which happened basically.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Any more questions are there? So
actually, I didn't go through the other chapters, so I didn't have any more. I mean, I by the time you said go through all of them, I hardly got through the first one. And of course, the last one is because of the revision.
Okay, but, thanks for your honesty. So it's okay. You can go back and go
continue,
over
yeah,
chapters once again, and you can definitely come back with questions. No issues. Overall, I would say that this Upanishad is related to prana. So it is giving a lot of emphasis on prana and trying to explain what is prana. In fact, you don't get such a detailed explanation elsewhere. Of course, it is our shortcoming that we still do not comprehend this prana very well. But still, at least we understand a little bit more now that Pipalat has explained something to us. So, related to prana, of course, is beings. So that is another focus of Pipala, that he has tried to tell you what is the role of beings, how they should lead their lives, what are the three kinds of um, outputs, consequences which can be there, two kinds of lives, three kinds of lives which uh, proper human being could achieve. One is it could return as a human if it has done mostly larger proportion of good compared to bad, but still together good and bad, mixed deeds.
Also,
But
and also meditated only on the first mantra
Right.
of
yeah, that also you must not take it as just focused on
No, that is for me, that is the biggest takeaway, actually. The three mantras of Omkara. And, that will always remain in my mind that you need to really, go deeper and deeper into meditation and not be just superficial.
Yeah.
So that is, I think that chapter was my biggest takeaway, honestly. So I
Wonderful.
take it seriously.
That is a huge thing. That is actually one of the biggest takeaways in general for the Upanishad. That is true. So it is required for us to understand that one gati which we can have is Manusha Loka. The next one is Chandamasa Loka. And
Yeah.
the
Then
third is Aditya Loka. So it sets out the path for us. This again, these three paths are very, very non-trivial. If you think about it, it's not immediately obvious. So it is only because of the Vedas that we know about these paths. Otherwise, we would not even know that there is such a thing as moksha. So,
Actually, I found the prana part
mhm.
actually very enlightening, and because I think it tells us how life comes into us and how life goes out of us. I found that was something I really was an eye opener, at least as far as I am concerned.
And you would see that while reading this Upanishad, no, you automatically start now becoming little bit distant from your body. I don't know if you can feel it yourself, but that once you start seeing that, oh, this body is not me, then while you might continue in the eyes of others just as you were before, but somewhere you start noticing that, oh, this is not me, this is not me, then you will spend more and more time with yourself. Okay, and one of the important things which you should realize, even here, if you see carefully, the mantra is separate from karma. So all knowledge is without any consequence. Any knowledge you gain, you just think, what could be the consequence of this? You might utilize that knowledge for the good of humanity or for the destruction of humanity. That is a different thing. Even if you just absorb that knowledge, it is not a deed. That time you spend in studying any of these, or physics, chemistry, biology, anything which is a fact, that time is not a good deed or a bad deed. It's not a deed. Okay, so that is also a very important thing to know, that it is, if you like, nishkam karma. Okay, though I would hate to use that term, it is so much maligned with all these Gita classes, but it is a deed without consequence. That is why this very heavy emphasis is there in our Indian tradition for acquiring knowledge. This knowledge is the way which will finally open the path for us to attain moksha. So always please continue, even though you feel that you are not controlling yourself sufficiently as far as mental or physical control is concerned. It is all right as long as you follow this path of knowledge. You will yourself see that you are becoming more and a little more, unaligned with your body, and many times you are able to say, no, I will not do this. This is only for my body, and I will spend more time for my soul. The chicken soup for the soul is there, that book, something like that.
Chicken soup.
But
Okay.
I also feel that the knowledge, when we talk of knowledge, there is one knowledge which is relative. For example, if I'm talking about the law of gravity that applies on Earth, the gravity changes on Moon, and maybe there are other places which do not have gravity. So that knowledge is different, and the knowledge that we are current, this knowledge, what we are studying or what we are reading in the Upanishads or even the Bhagavad Gita, Vedas, of course, that is different. That is to a large extent non-relative. It's an absolute knowledge,
Eternal
actually.
knowledge.
Yeah.
So,
So there's no relativity.
So you're partially right and partially not right. So these are eternal truths. That is correct. And gravity, etc., which you are saying, actually, the Vedas tell us that again and again, the universe is created in the same fashion. So it does not change, and the rules which are applicable today will, okay, over a period of time they may change, sure, but the way the universe comes up, grows, becomes a little bit constant and then declines, those things happen repeatedly. So actually, even knowledge that you may gather about those things is is useful. However, the things which are directly related to the soul are, of course, more important for us to attain higher spiritual growth. But without
Yeah, I mean,
understanding the physical world, also, it is not possible for us to understand what is the soul. So that is
true.
why
But
even all these Upanishads and Darshan Shastras spend a lot of time in explaining what is this world and where does it end. So it doesn't
true.
matter. You don't want to think about Srishti or Pralay. Don't think, in your life at least, in your body at least, you should know where physical matter ends and where the soul starts.
Correct. And that is why that pranas became, you know,
Correct.
gave an insight into what. So the process may be the same. But when we talk about, when we go into that analysis and detailed analysis, it kind of, it's, it's something you'd rather spend your time and energy on something better. That's what I meant.
Correct. Correct. Very true. Okay. So with this, this Prashnopanishad comes to an end, and you are most welcome. The WhatsApp group shall remain, and you can please do your revision later. And I just wanted to tell you that this prana that we saw, that came with the fetus, even that I just had indicated to you in the third question, where he asks from where did the prana come and where does it go, etc. There also it says that it comes along with the Atma. Okay. So like that, you must connect. Now you must go back and connect all these things, and you will find the same thing has been said in different ways, or from different angles. Now you will be able to see the whole picture. So you must get the whole picture and connect it in your mind. Okay, and welcome, whether you ask the questions in the group or personally, you can call up also anytime.
Thank you so much for
Dhanyavad.
taking us on this path. I think I was attending it for the first time formally. I mean, I listened to the videos and things of that kind. It's been a very nice journey and very enlightening one, if I may say so.
Oh, that is coming from one sister to the other. But
No, actually, this is from a student to a teacher.
To a guru.
Relationship now. Different hat I'm wearing.
yeah, but I also want to put, it's probably wrong to say I enjoyed, but I learned so much. So this is, this is the path of enlightenment. So,
in fact, it's not wrong to say you enjoyed. In fact, I also, sometimes feel I really like that because it puts me on that path.
I didn't want to.
So I like it.
Yep.
In the sense that, I'm glad I reached this thing that where I'm starting to like this. Though, like I said, sometimes I'm reading the word, I'm understanding the word, but I'm not getting the thing fully. But like you said, every time you reread, you might understand a little more than
Yes.
what you
I
did
think
the previous time.
Shanta was referring to the recap part, that she did not. Am I right, Shanta?
Not really. My only main hesitation was I am not so fluent, connecting word by word with Sanskrit and coming.
I'm in the same boat as you, don't worry.
Yeah, none of us are.
But what Srividya is saying is actually correct. You must read it repeatedly, and you must ponder over it. Otherwise, it doesn't settle in. We have a tendency to take the easy path, and the easy path is always usually the incorrect path. So you have to take the difficult path, and you must ponder over it. And I'm sure that when you go back, in fact, when I was revising for you, I discovered something new now. So you can imagine, you keep seeing more and more connections. It is really nice, and I enjoyed teaching you. It was wonderful. So
Dhanyavad.
So thank you.
Thank you.
Prayer.
Thank you.
Prayer.
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 So would you like me to add this?
Yeah. Please.
I'll add
Yeah.
it in the commentary somewhere.
Poonam, I think you should add it as a bird's eye view executive summary or somewhere, because what I told you, if you go back to that verse, the one after that, it starts with the we mentioned Prajapati and we mentioned Shadoshi.
Shodashi.
It is actually from question number 1 till question number 6.
Chalo,
Correct. Don't cover the entire thing.
And all the lokas, everything is covered.
More than that, also, I would like you to notice this Sangnaranas. This is the same dhatu from which Rama comes, Ramana, okay, which means to enjoy. Okay, so so Prajapati is enjoying along with the Praja. This is a different view you get from the normal this thing that God is sitting and he is doing the karma dhyaksha which is there. So he is looking at what karmas we are doing and he is giving us the results of that. He is also enjoying with us. So that is another view which you must have, that he is our pita, he is our mata, and if anybody loves us, it is actually him. His love is the truest of all loves. All other beings, they come and they go, we love them, they love us, it's all transient, but he is the one whose love is with us eternally and who loves being with us. So that is one more view you should pick up from here. Okay. Om asunite mano asmasu dharaya.
Om asunite mano
asmasu dharaya.
Jivatave supratirana ayuh.
Jivatave
supratirana ayuh.
Rarandhina suryasya sandrushi.
Rarandhina suryasya
sandrishi.
Ghritena tvam tanvam vardhayasva.
Dhritena tvam
vardhayasva.
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Dhanyavada.
Dhanyavad. Thank you. Please be with God. Always remember Him. Whenever you're starting a good deed, pray to Him. And do upasana, do meditation every day.
Thank you.
Dhanyavad.
Thank you.
Dhanyavad.